Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse, and welcome to another episode of Magic the Gathering Arena. I think you'll probably be able to guess already what we're here to do today. The March of the Machine has just come out, and we're going to be doing our very first, hopefully, draft. I'll see what formats are available, but draft is what I want to be doing. And if we can do, we're going to have some fun with it. One thing you'll note is that I used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering, not played as much recently. You've seen a few drafts on the channel, but I used to know almost every single card before a set released. And before I finished playing, I used to just stop looking at spoilers because I had so much more fun just diving into drafts and figuring it out as it goes. I actually don't even know what any of the mechanics in the set are, apart from I know that there's Convoke because I know that Stoke the Flames exists, and I know that there's Skittering Surveyor. They're the only two things I know, and that's because a friend sent me a picture of his draft deck, and I recognise those two cards and no others, and I'm already happy because anything that has Convoke is going to have fun things for my style of deck. I like to play things that you just get a sneaky bit of extra value here and there. So we are going to get started. If you've enjoyed this, please do, well, if you do enjoy this rather, please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us over on the Patreon in the description, but most importantly, drop a comment. That really does mean so much to me. But for now, we're going to go straight into a premier draft of March of the Machine. So I'm going to quick look here. We've got Knights, Blue-White Knights, Graveyard Mill, Sacrifice, Battles, don't know what that is, +1 cancel encounters, Phyrexian, Convoke is blue-red, interesting, Incubate, don't know what that is, Backup, don't know what that is, and Transform. Okay, that's all I need to know. No more detail required for someone who's just as willing to go in blind as me. I'm absolutely going to mess some picks up. I'm going to fail to figure out what to take in time, as I'm going to be reading too many cards. But all in all, I think this could be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it too. I have absolutely zero clue what I want to draft. I'm just going to read cards and see if they sound fun. And hopefully, if I remember, highlight cards and spend that time reading other cards in the pack so I understand what I'm looking for moving forwards. So our first pick, I can hear the cards. I hate the view. Invasion of Ixalan. It is, I don't even know what that is. Oh my goodness. Battle Siege. Opponent type enters defense counters. Siege battle enters your opponent. You can use it to protect it. Oh, I can attack it. So it's like a planeswalker I can attack. Okay. Look at top 5 cards, reveal opponent, put it to your hand, bottom of the library. And when I kill it, I get a 4/3 that can get indestructible. I mean, sure, that's what I'm going to take because it sounds awesome. But we need to be aggressive for this. 4/1/1 counters on creatures we control gain vigilance and trample. That seems great. Incubate 3, don't know what it is. Activate abilities. Transform it as a sorcery for 4, turns into a 3/3 sacrifice. I mean, that seems really good. We're going to take the rare just because it seems cool. We'll see if anything here looks familiar. Backup is put 1/1 counter on target creature. Put 1 counter on target creature if that's... Oh, I'll read it in a minute. We've got an Ixalan thing. Okay, we've got a cool looking like Ixalan card. Emoti, Celebrant of Bounty. Cascade, I know what Cascade does. Spells with mana value 6 or greater have Cascade. That's so cool. I mean, that might just be what I take because it's awesome. Like a blue-green Cascade, and what have we got here? Transformer 4/5 into 7/5. I mean, that seems great. I'm perfectly fine with that. 2/2 for 2 with +2/+2 turn to turn. Yeah. A 2 mana. Ooh, interesting. It's a mana dork that has to be a creature. I like that. Kill spell. What else we got here? Battle. So create 2 red and white warrior tokens whenever this. Put a 1/1 counter on it. I mean, that's a really aggressive one there. I am going to just hover over this because it doesn't seem the best. I actually think this invasion seems really good. But I want to try the weird things out. Let's try and go for a blue-green Cascade deck. Also means we need big things. Okay, so blue-green battle is Scry 3, reveal the top card. If it's a land or double-face card, draw a card. Trample, Ward 2. Other transform permanents you control have Trample and Ward 2. I mean, that's really cool. So we want multiple things that transform. That might be the pick here. Scry 3 when it enters. When it dies, draw 3 cards if 3 or more creatures die this turn. I think we've had this before. I mean, I'm almost definitely taking this. It sounds awesome. What's the incubate thing then? create an incubator token with 5/1/1 counters on it. 2, transform this into an artifact. It transforms into a 0/0 Phyrexian artifact creature. Okay, so it makes a token that then for 2 we can then activate into a creature. And that seems great. So we're going to want to be doing that with this. Okay, so many of these. I don't think people know how the battles work, and so probably it's like, we're not going to take this. So let me check this again. Incubator token, yeah, 5/1/1 counters on it, and 2, transform this artifact. It transforms into a Phyrexian artifact creature. Okay, so it's essentially 6 mana for a 5/5 and an extra body. I mean, I guess you kind of want some synergy for that. What have we got up here? This is create a knight and to make it into an anthem. That's pretty solid. Cast things from graveyards. Okay, what was backup? When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. If it's another creature, it also gains the abilities on this card until end of turn. So this could be really good to give something hexproof and a counter to, and potentially block as well, because that's flash as well, which is awesome. Okay, so we've got some things that are worthwhile. Reach, Trample, Forest Cycling. I'm always a big fan of land cycling cards, so that's very high up on my estimations now. Another transform card is good. 4 mana 4/4. Transform. When it attacks, up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness 5/5 to turn. That seems great. Okay, sometimes we can get a bit of extra value out of this. Honestly, I really want these Timberland Ancients, but this Hermit seems really good. Just a 4/4 for 4 that can get bigger. What's the Whelp? Okay, so if we have transform things, it gets better, but more transform stuff. Let's go with this. Another invasion, but they're not legendary, so when it enters, scry 3, reveal top card. If it's a land or double face, draw a card. I mean, I guess we just... There's nothing saying here that you can only have one, is there? Not that I can tell. And what's this one? Transform only as a sorcery into a 3/3 for 3. I mean, it's tough for block creatures to deal with, but honestly, I think we just want to try this unless... I mean, there's a force block here. What's this one? Return to a creature or battle card from your graveyard to your hand. If it would die, exile it instead. I do like that, but we're going to just take a second one of these first, because they do basically just cantrip. We have to damage these for that much, don't we, for 4? Yeah. So, backup 1 can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less. Pretty nice. That's going to be actually really useful for pushing through damage onto our battles. So I think maybe that's what we want. This is a 1/3 that becomes a 3/3. I mean, that seems really good, but I don't think it's what we're going to want. I think we want this as a good backup card here. Emry, Lurker of the Loch. Okay, so Emry exists again. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. A creature gets +2/+2. And flying with Convoke, though. That's really important. I think I'm going for the Forest Cycling, but I really wouldn't mind picking up one of these. Although we might see more Forest Cycling. This is just going to be really useful for putting damage onto the to the battles. So I think this is what we pick here. Yeah, I think I want the Timberland Ancient at some point. Okay, so this is a good tap thing to activate abilities, but we've got like, this is a good activated ability we've got so far. No others at the moment, but this could be good. Mill 2 cards and put an instant sorcery on top. Tap creature, put a stun counter on it. Nice. I think we do want one of these eventually. I'm going to take the weird mana dork. We might be able to get some value out of that later on. Counter target creature or battle spell unless its controller pays 4. If they do, I incubate 2. Or negate. I mean, I could see a world in which we play this. We could also potentially get used out of a flywheel racer as well. But so that's the big incubate thing. 8 cards in their graveyard. It can attack. It can't be blocked. I think we probably just want the incubate thing here. Okay, this we don't care. We'll just click on something. So how does this work? It's not this one. It's other transform permanents. There we go. Trample and Ward 2. So I don't know if these incubate things count as being transformed, but I wonder if having Ward 2 and Ward 2 makes it essentially Ward 4 because it's two separate abilities. This is good. When it dies, draw a card. We need some cheaper things that matter. Crit creatures 1/1 and vigilance. Okay, this is like a really cool little buff thing where if it's big enough you can attack. Yargle and Multani, I saw this before. It is a 6-drop 18/6. How absurd that is, but creatures of the first strike have double strike. Oh, the other invasion. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3, then discard a card, sacrifice it, copy target spell you control, you can choose 2 new targets for the copy. That's good, but we don't have much in the way of removal. Honestly, that's just really funny that Yargle and Multani have just mutated together. I mean, that's a really good card draw spell. It's probably more useful than forest cycling. Backup Death Touch could be nice. And it is a bit cheaper, but you know what? Let's go for... Do we have any instants or sorceries that are really worth it? I know it's... I mean, we really don't. I think I probably just want one of these, but I'm not going to resist it. We've got a new card type. We now need to fill up with creatures. Ooh, Umori the Collector. Oh, it's a companion. Oh, okay, yeah. Each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. Yeah, so that's not really that useful, but it's just a companion, which is good. We don't need any more invasions. This might be a good one at this point. So this is a... Although it is just a 4-mana 4/5, we could just put it in our deck. Yeah, because we can't have this as our companion anyway. But that's just an efficient creature, whereas this could be ridiculous. Otherwise it's a pump spell. I actually think it's the Moloch, because it has 4 attack, and we've got 2 battles that have got 3 battles. Okay, so an invasion of... Okay, they're all 4 as well, so that's... Yeah, we want 4 power things. Choose target spell with mana value 2 or less. Oh, so counter spell with mana value 2 or less, or red or green with 6 or less. I mean, sure. An unmutated Yargle. Top 3 cards of your library, 1 in your hand, 1 in your grave, and 1 on the bottom. Has indestructible as long as it attacked a battle this turn. Okay, I'm alright with this. We've got some good battles, so... We needed early drops. I don't think we need a 3-drop looter at this point in time. Okay, so there is one of these. What's this one? Oh, this is the one we want. When it transforms into Invader, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it into your hand. That's really good. It's +1/+0 for each transformed permanent you control. Ooh, that sounds fun. Sorry, other things. We wouldn't mind the Aerialist back, but it's not coming back. What's that one? Okay, yeah. We're taking this. We're going for the gold cards. We're all about the gold. Army of Whispered Hopes. If one or more 1/1 counters put on a permanent you control, put that many +1. Add X mana of any one colour where X is that power. That's pretty nice. Good with the backup cards. Top 5 cards of your library, reveal a land or double face card from among them, put it into your hand. I mean, that's just going to be really good for us. Surely we've got... How many double face cards? Tons? Tetsuko's in this again. What's this one then? Destroy target non-elf creature opponent controls power X or less for X number of lands. This forces equal number of lands you control. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Enter the battlefield or dies Surveil 1. This is the sort of thing we actually need right now. We wouldn't mind wheeling one of these, but... Tetsuko could be good, but again, we don't have any X ones. This would be good with Tetsuko, but I think we actually just want a reasonable 2-drop. We're obviously going to be playing some battles, but we need those to be out first. Okay, so there is another one. Incubate 2, make a land that potentially taps for 2. Oh yeah, it's white-green counters. I actually think the Blighted Burgeoning is more important here. Get some ramp and fixing we might need. It's funny because we don't have anything really big here, but we do have this Herd Beast that could be very nice for us here, especially with some added abilities. Okay, now we get our... Oh, but the backup... Is it backup just for that turn? Yeah, it does until end of turn. So even though I like this a lot, I really wouldn't mind a second of these. I think we want the Ancient for some fixing. Another invasion. I mean, it's good when it goes. Another Blighted Burgeoning. Fertilid's Favour. Look for a basic land, put on the battlefield, put 2/1/1 counters not to one target artifact or creature. But it's only one land. I actually like this as a little pump spell. Okay, we don't need Yargle. I mean, I guess Moment of Truth could be fine. Is that instant or something? Yeah, it is instant at least. Okay, we'll take another Cryptomancer. These could work out. Another Whelp. The Archivist I don't think does much here, because this is our only... Oh, it does have Cascade, which is so good. Let's take a Whelp. You know what, at this point I think I'm actually going to take a land in case it's relevant. Tetsuko could make it. Go on, give us something. Ooh, a rare in our colours. 4 mana 3/4 Convoke Flying Vigilance. When it enters battlefield, put a flying counter on each creature that convoked it. That's insane. Unless the others. Renata's great. Each other creature enters with a 1/1 counter on it. Trample and Hexproof is also really good. We'd be happily wheel any of those, any of this. I mean, I'll take pretty much any of these, but this seems really silly putting flying counters on things, especially with our battles. Ooh, Karuga. I mean, could we do that? Probably not. That's the counters on it. Sail back. Oh, gains haste or destroy target artifact or enchantment. That seems pretty solid. I've seen a lot of artifacts and enchantments. I mean, Karuga's good, but draw a card for each other opponent you control of mana value 3 or greater. We are going to have a lot, but I think the sail back is probably more consistently what we want. Like, a disenchant on a creature is really useful. Okay, what's this one? Flying Vigilance. Create a blue and white knight token with Vigilance. Activate if you have cast 2 or more spells this turn. The fact it's flying is fine by me, but I think the Thornwood Falls is probably what we want. Just a bit of fixing. Like, I do want that, but we've got quite expensive things, like a lot of them, so I'm going to try and avoid that. Ooh, a fancy SRAM. Okay, what's this one? Put a 1/1 counter on a target creature you control. That creature fights up to one target creature you don't control. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature gains +2/+2 and loses all abilities until end of turn. I mean, I kind of just want this, but 4 counters and Vigilance and Trample, or a big fight. I actually think, how many creatures do you have quickly? 19. I think Storm the Seacore is going to be better. This might wheel, although we don't have any removal. Let's take that. We want the Storm back, but another Emoti. Another Herd Beast is not as useful here. A Convoke creature might be good. Artifact, Battle Enchantment, or creature with flying. That could be good. I'm really tempted to go for another Emoti just as a basically a bit of card advantage, because it can't cascade into itself anyway. I think I'm taking it. I feel weird about it, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, this is the big thing turns into 5/5s. I mean, we want that. Yeah, I mean, it's just big. We've got an Invasion of Rin already. Although, return target creature or battle card from your graveyard to your hand. This could be 2 of those. Although, I mean, no, let's just go efficient. This could be good, but it could be really cute, and I don't know if that's really worth it. We can get a second Omen Hawker. I mean, it's what we're going to take. Whether it makes it to the deck or not, I'm not quite sure, but it's cool. And a third Invasion. I'm really tempted just to go for that. When Tide of Terror attacks, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control. If you do, it can't be blocked this turn. And Island Cycling. Yeah, that's what we want. That's really good. Return target creature to its owner's hand and surveil 2. That is absolutely what we need. We're really lacking a bit of tempo or removal here, so that's great for us. We don't have much in the way of removal at all. Target creature becomes a 4/3 till end of turn, draw a card. Or a Convoke thing. I'm probably more likely just to want to Convoke. Change the equation, we don't really care about. Traxxas Fall, did we get one of those? We did not. We'll take one of these. Moment of Truth for the sideboard. Another Atrax's Fall for the sideboard. Yeah, we obviously didn't wheel any of those big green spells, but I wasn't expecting to. They're two really powerful ones, the fight and the put 4 counters on. And I think this was just, because we're so lacking in removal, we really need that extra bit of help. The big question now is, how on earth do I build this into a deck? So the important thing first is, how many flippy cards do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flippy cards. That's pretty decent. So Mutagen Connoisseur can be okay. I guess it's not ideal. Because we've got, wait, let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 in total. So maybe I got a bit greedy here and thought this was too good, but I might keep it in for now because we've got quite a lot. Tetsuko is fine. It's going to help us push through on things, actually. So maybe we should have really gone for... Oh, we did get the Wary Thespian. Okay, good. As long as we got one of those. Oh, yeah, because we picked up a Tetsuko later. And we've got the Omen Hawkers as well, which aren't actually terrible here. I'm probably cutting one of them. Although, we have got some Convoke. So let me just put that back in for now. We need to cut a ton of cards. So what do we start with? I like the big things. This is really good. These are fine. We want all these because this is the fight one. Yeah. Convert to beast. So that can. Oh, that makes a transformed permanent, I believe. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. The backup is also useful for pushing through. This thing's ridiculous. One of these whelps might not be needed. I don't think we need the rampant fixing anymore, actually, because even though it creates an incubate token, although that, the more I think about this incubate thing, these should count as transformed. So maybe these are better than I think. What's the pest? You've got top 5 cards in your library, double face card from among them, put it into your hand. Or land. Yep, that seems great. Thespian's good tempo. Okay, so I'm going to keep this. Moment of Truth can go away. He says as if he's made a great decision with 12 cuts left to make. We must be way high on creature count. 24 creatures is ridiculous. So Halo Hopper can go immediately. The Connoisseur I think I do want to try and keep. I think maybe the Burgeoning does end up going in a minute, but again, if it goes, we might look at, because essentially we've got 9 now for the Connoisseur, but if they're not transformed, this is worthless. It could be really good. A 0-5 for 3 with flying is also not bad either. We're probably cutting 1 Emoti, even though we got 2. Invasion's good, so we want fairly big things. Assimilate Essence was the... Yeah, so again, this is probably going to go... It makes this worse, but I think we can deal with it. 1 Cryptomancer is fine. Tetsuko could just be a trap here. Not even a trap, just not that good. It only really works on a couple of things. So let's get rid of Tetsuko and just try and rely on playing battles on turn 2. So we've got 2 invasions there, 1 invasion here and 1 up here. So I think we want our pump spell, and I think we want Atrax's Fall, and I think we want our fight spell. So we're probably back to just cutting creatures because we have 1,000,000 creatures. So what can we justify? A 3/3 cantrip is great. A 3/3 indestructible with reach is also great, because we do have, is it 4 battles to attack? 1, 2, 3, 5 battles to attack, so we need that. We need to keep our creature count fairly high, especially with the Zephyr Singer as well. Which means we probably need to be... In fact, Atrax's Fall can go because we've got the Sailback to destroy an artifact or enchantment. So we'll go for that. We've got... What's our curve looking like? Massive on 4-drops, but our 4-drops are good. So... Kavu that can push something through is nice, especially with our battles. In fact, putting the Kavu on, like, playing, say, Invasion of Ixalan or Invasion of Pyrulia Wary Thespian, and then that is mad. Sandstalker Moloch is really cool. The fact that we can just play that on our opponent's turn if we need to, or even just play it and then immediately place a battle down, because I don't think there's anything that says... Yeah, there's nothing that says we can't just flash something in then play a battle. So playing battles when you know you can attack them is awesome. Okay, so with Tetsuko gone, we only need one Omen Hawker, I think. These are going to be really helpful because we don't have much in terms of recursion or value, so protecting things for 2 is going to be important, and I think this could end up being quite sweet. So Oculus Whelp's pretty mediocre. Like, I like it, but it doesn't seem standout. But it is a 4 mana 3/2 flyer, so we'll cut one of those. We probably want to look at cutting one big thing, but then we want the transform abilities. We want the sail back indefinitely. We want Emoti because it's just good value, and it maybe even gets these to make good value as well. I can't ditch a 4/4/4 with upside because it'll be silly, because it's also the one that we want. So it might be that the Connoisseur is going now. We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with no actual other transform as well, so I think that has to go. I don't like doing that, but we were being a bit optimistic there, and we've got a few things that... In fact, we've got the Reach guy here, haven't we? And then this is Reach. Yeah, we can deal with Reach. We've got some flyers as well. The fact that this thing gives everything flying is amazing. You can potentially just get... Like, we could curve out into a turn 4, play this, give 3 other creatures flying permanently. I think. Yeah, that works. Really good. I love it. Okay, 2 more cuts, because we do want to try and keep 6 to 17 lands here. So maybe one of the Cryptomancers goes, or the Omen Hawker, because for the Omen Hawker, in fact, we've only got the Notvold Hermit now, so it's only really being useful to Convoke. So Convoke, I think, is upside rather than a game plan for us. So we will ditch that. Even though it's like our best opening curves, I don't think it's necessary, because it's only for activated abilities, and I don't think we have that many at all. I think we're actually going to be relying on playing these battles a bit later than we currently think we would be, but having this have haste as well is nice. So one more cut. It feels like it should be a 2-drop or a 4-drop, but I want to keep all of our 2-drops because, let's be honest, we don't have much. We can play a 1/2 with hexproof. That's all we can do. So maybe that's not ideal, but okay, I'm going to put Tetsuko back in for now temporarily. Not because I think it's good, but because I think it's better than nothing. I do want these backup creatures. The Whelp is also good. I don't know if I can bring myself to cut the Whelp. If we're not as fussed about these things, but this just, again, even spending real life to transform this, a 7/5 Menace is nuts. And these are both essentially lands. So maybe we ditch one Cryptomancer in exchange for Tetsuko, so we've got just something slightly more proactive early on. And then one last cut, and it should be something big, but it's probably not going to be. Both of these count as basically being lands. We could even cut a land because of this. In fact, what other ways have we got a land? Scry 3, then reveal if it's a double-faced card or a land, draw a card. So we've got 2 cantrips there. Permanent card from among them, put it into your hand, the rest of your library. So another cantrip there. This surveils 2. This finds a land. This can find a permanent and put it in. I actually think we can cut a land here, because we've got, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways of potentially finding lands at least for less than 2 or 3 mana. That's pretty good. Okay, what's this? So the split's 11 to 16 here. So if we just cut an island here, this is a bizarre deck. But yeah, okay. So I think this is what I'm going to go with. I'm not convinced this is going to be good. I think it's going to be fun. I'm really, really looking forward to playing it, especially playing with 4 battles. So we're going all out on the new mechanic. I don't know how it's going to work. We've still got probably 16 creatures is pretty decent, especially with these transforming into creatures as well. So hopefully we can just apply a lot of pressure. Very limited removal. So my friend told me draft all the value I can. I think I've got enough value, but maybe not enough pressure, not enough removal and pressure. So we'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this, and I'll see you once we're back to the games. Okay, we are back and ready to dive into our first game. So we've got our really sort of quite cool Transform Battles deck. So I've not really got any idea how this is going to play out. I've never even seen a battle on the battlefield before. Obviously a bit of repetition for the word there, but I don't even know how the mechanic's going to feel. Is it going to feel good like a Planeswalker? Is it going to feel a little bit skewy? Are we going to have to play more defensive because then our opponent could just play a battle and trigger it immediately? So, you know, really, really interesting situations here. I think this is actually going to weirdly incentivize overly defensive positioning. What have we got here? So we have got an Island Cycler. Without that, I'm not sure I'd be keeping this hand, but with it, if we draw one more land, we've basically got a really good situation here. So, especially with the Wingspan, and with us being first as well, that's really nice. So we're kind of hoping to draw a land next turn, so that we don't have to cycle the Tidal Terror. But if we do need to, we will. You know, I'm not going to just put ourselves at risk over the sake of keeping it. Essentially, in my mind, it is just a land anyway, really. So this is a pretty reasonable situation. Like, we can guaranteed play one of these. This is obviously most likely what we're going to play. There we go. Okay, so we did draw a land, so I'm probably still going to cycle that, because even though we're almost guaranteed 4, that means we could potentially just get a better use out of this instead. Okay, haste and give something else haste. So yeah, I feel like here we need to just not be wasting time, not be taking too long doing things. We're just going to pick up sources and just start playing things out as soon as possible, because they're going to have an aggressive list. Okay, so that's fine. We've got our island out. Honestly, I'm going to play the Pest because there's the chance we can get the 4/4 for 4. So neither of these are quite what we want here. This one puts a permanent in our hand. This one fights something. So we'll take the fight, because that way we can play the Historian into something slightly bigger. And maybe even if we're lucky get a Convoke out at some point. But they're going to be incentivized to kill our units now, because they know that this is coming. Sacrifice another creature. Incubate 3. Interesting. Okay. So we can't afford to block here, which would have made this a better play, I think, but that is the 5-drop one. So we could just play this out, but we're obviously much better off just going with the Historian. I do not care how that plays it. Okay, we're going to play overly defensive because of the existence of battles, but also because of their haster. Next turn we can play a 4/5. We can potentially just kill something if we need to. If they kill this, that's pretty awkward, but being able to put a counter on something and then fighting this is reasonable, but then we can't push through, so it's just a 5-mana removal spell. It could even actually just be that our best option here is just to cascade and get more units on the battlefield, or more spells cast. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, and just consider playing more things later on. Like, if they have removal here, it is good for them, because our Historian's our best creature. Yeah, there we go. Vanquish the Weaks in the format. Okay, nice. So this just gives them the 2 attack. That's fine, no blocks. But we can now get... Oops, don't want this to stop. Oh well, we'll just draw anyway. So this is the point where we wish we hadn't cycled, because we've gone for this into the other one, but we never knew we were going to draw this many lands. So let's go with the Cascade. Hopefully we get something useful as well. We have got a creature on the battlefield to trigger off of it, which is nice. Okay, sure. I actually think, yeah, we back up the Overgrown Pest, because this gives us multiple creatures that are good at blocking here, or we can just start being aggressive ourselves. And I think with the invasion coming, though, do we need to be? We could just... Basically, we can get in for 3, or we can try and play... Yeah, I think we get in for 3 here. I think we need to start turning this around. And given that we've got more power on the battlefield by some margin, and removal, and the ability to push through damage, I think we're in a better spot here. So let's see what they do, though, because this could be interesting. Okay, because they've obviously got the ability to haste things out, but they're looking like they're going for more removal, which is fine by us. If they go for removal, I'm honestly even tempted to just invasion and kill whatever they have left to block with and try and get ourselves a 4-4. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable to me. Because if we can invasion kill their one blocker... Okay, so they've got this, they can transform into a 3-3. And this is, whenever you sacrifice a opponent, put a counter on it. So the fact they've left this up is quite awkward because they know about this. So, for now... We could even just start pushing in for more damage with the wingspan, but... Let's go with... So 4, and then wingspan draws a card, but... Do we want to kill... So the fact they've got the Huntmaster is what makes this awkward. So I am going to attack with our... Can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less creature. So, in fact, is there a combination of these that we don't want to do? Yeah, let's just attack with this for now. See what they decide. They can't block with anything as it stands anyway. So we're just going to go with more stuff, basically. This hasting thing is actually really annoying. We need to deal with it at some point, but it's the fact they've left up the mana. Yeah, so they can just kill Jury here to kill our Emoti. And I don't hate it, but I don't think it's the right time to do it now. Okay, so they are going for it. That's not quite what I was expecting, but I'm okay with that. And we'll pop ourselves down, in this case, just a bigger creature. There's no sense in doing anything other than just playing the biggest, beefiest thing we can. It's going to hold up best against them. Yeah, I think this is our best bet here. We've still got the cavalry that can push through anything except for the Blightsower Thallid. We can also just... It becomes a menace creature as well, which is the interesting part. Because we can just put wingspan on it and attack for 9. But do we even need to? Do we need to risk the 2 life is the question, basically. They're incentivized to do stuff here. But if they want to transform this, it becomes a 3-3. Yeah, there we go. This is only as a sorcery. Okay. So here I actually think we are going to go for the propaganda. Oh, it's the invasion, sorry. And we're going to try and put this on the Kavu. See if they have like a Vanquish the Weak in response. Or actually no, maybe the Pest. We're going to put the Pest and deal with the Huntmaster, because it can't sacrifice itself. And have they got a response is the big question. They can just kill this in response, and then it's awkward, but it's not the end of the world. Next turn we can just kill this and get a 4-4 if we need to, with our Astral Wingspan. I'm kind of just hoping for no more Vanquish the Weak here. Like, I feel like we're in a reasonable spot, but... Okay, so they had to take that choice. Yeah, and they can sacrifice that artifact to make another 3-3. Clever. Yep. So it is going to die, and we are going to have a good blocker for it, but at least they did get to keep something there. Now the question is... Yeah, I think we're just going to attack this. Because they can't transform now. We've got a good blocker for the backswing. We're just kind of worried as to what they play next, basically. Yeah, they can transform one of these, get a 3/3. I'm just hoping there's no removal for our pests, so that would be the worst case scenario here. We don't have too much follow-up here is the awkward part. Yeah, I mean, if they transform this, they could just try and race us. Yeah, it looks like they might be going for it. What is this? Ooh, Phyrexians gain Menace till end of turn. Other Phyrexians also get +1/+1. Okay, so that's absolutely terrifying. Because these are Phyrexians. Interesting. I hadn't even clicked that these were Phyrexians. So we're taking 8 here at least. But that's only to Menace till end of turn, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we're taking 8 now. We can basically trade this for a 4/4, which is fine. Doesn't do much, but it's not the end of the world. Can this be targeted with spells? I guess we can do spells. Okay, only taking 4 here is amazing for us, because they're trying to keep a blocker back. So what if we just get ourselves a Thespian? We'll definitely surveil that to the graveyard. And then here we're just going to fully hardcast this here. Just autocast it. And we're going to trade our 3/3 in for a 4/4, so just so we've got an extra bit of battlefield presence. Something that's decent. You know what? We're not far off of just pushing through for damage here, but we're gonna want to get the 4/4 out just so we've got more things, and it only actually puts us on a 2-turn clock anyway. Oh, we actually cast it when it's complete. Okay, I didn't realise it was a cast trigger. I thought it was just going to be a transform. So does that count as being transformed then? I'd assume so. But yeah, now we've got multiple things that block here. The Thallid can transform as well. Yeah, so they're taking damage. Oh, is that a Phyrexian as well? That's a Phyrexian Saproling. Oh my god, they got squee. We're never winning this game. Are they LOLGG attack all? Okay, so awkwardly here, I'm not sure what the best... If they attack with a Butcher, then we've got way better blocks. Otherwise, I think we just have to take tons of damage. Yeah, we're going to have to just... we can't even give them the other Saproling. Or... we've got 5, 7... We don't have any means of getting a lethal next turn, really. So I think we just are better off trying to trade. It's not what I want to be doing, but better than giving them other things to do. And this is probably where we lose. We play our big thing, but we can only block 3 things. They've got 4 damage coming through at least. So if we only block 2 things, then we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I actually think that we're better off attacking with this and hoping that they whiff. This, I think, seems correct. Like this, there is a world in which this can lead us to victory. At this point, I'm just going to play the land in case we need it. We've got a bunch of things that draw extra cards, so maybe there's a world in which we live. Because we can chomp block something and can solidly block the big one. Okay, so them gaining a life is fine. None of this matters. They can just attack with Squee. And we'll just block with it. We'll block it, rather. But the thing is, I think we actually have a good chance here. We still have to go for this over 2 turns. We can't just go for 1 turn. But essentially, they're going to trade Squee for this. We get to surveil, and we get to take out one of their relevant creatures with the Timberland Ancient. Yeah, so there we go. Right, this is exactly why we did it this way round. Because we can reveal a land or double-faced card. So, the Scry 3 is going to be really good for us here as well. We'd like a 2-drop of some sort. Okay, that doesn't help too much. Do you know what? I actually think we bottom all of these. Although, no, we can keep a invasion of Phyrexia at the top just for a bit of choice for next turn. Because we've got 6 mana still. This turns into a 4/4. So let me just double check. Yeah, we still have got 6. First of all, let's find out if these are legendary. I don't think they will be, but I mean, those are just going to the bottom. And this is a double face card, so we draw a card. And then, honestly, because this is a 4/4, we're going to play this, and we're going to attack with our 1 Kavu. And just attack our opponent. Yeah, I think going for anything other than just lethal over 2 turns is a mistake here, and we're just going to have to rely on them not drawing their bits and pieces. Ooh, waiting for the server. Please do not disconnect now. That would be so bad. I really like where we are at in the game. Please don't disconnect. I'm just... Come on, bring me back in. The internet's working on my phone. It appears to be working on the computer. Okay, so I think our opponent conceded there. A bit of an anticlimax, but it does count as a win. Our opponent didn't have anything to do, and I think they conceded there, and the server just had a little hiccup. So, just check. I checked this a minute ago. Let me just make sure. Okay, good. So there's nothing there that's like an error message or anything, just in case. So there we go. That's our first win. What is our archetype supposed to be for our colours, actually? Yeah, so this is supposed to be the transform colours. Incubator tokens and creatures into their Phyrexian selves. So maybe we should have been looking more incubate things. We have got like the gold card for it, but I don't think we actually had that many transformed stuff. We're just going battles. We're a battles deck. This is a great start. This is so good if our opponent's playing blue or black. It's just decent anyway with invasion. This is, yeah, absolutely something I want to be playing. I prefer going on the play with this, absolutely, but still better than nothing. Get our forest down, pass the turn, and 2 of these is really interesting as well. Death Touch. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player... Oh, okay, so we have got Infect here. So we'll pop down an invasion. Reveal a land or double face card. Draw a card. Okay, so what we want to do is put it like this. Yeah. So we want to basically stack it so that we're revealing something uninteresting to them. And then we've got this there. Okay, that can go away. Our opponent can carry on with their turn. And they are also playing blue, so this can be really nice for us. Destroy target creature or enchantment. Interesting. So we just play this and pass the turn. Because we've got the follow-up to basically potentially take this out. They're forest cycling, that's fine. We're really hoping for a blue spell here. Oh, come on, play something blue. Play something blue. Blue that can't block a 4/2. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I actually think I'm just going to trade that here. Actually, no. We're not going to trade here. We don't care about poison counters. I don't think there's too much poison in this format. So we're just going to pop this down and see what we can find. Ooh. Okay, so that... Oh yeah, I forgot. We knew that was coming. Of course we did. Convoke Flying Vigilance. So if we spent 3, we'd still be slightly short. Indestructible if it attacks a battle is really nice here. We should have maybe considered blocking this. Let's put the Historian down. I think the Historian, because it's a 3/3, could be really good. Do we offer this trade? Is this... It is a fight as well, so we're not going to offer this now. We're going to save that for next turn. Try and see if we can find another way to clear it. We will actually trade this if it comes to it, because it's getting big. Okay, there's their cascade, so we've got the same effect in our deck. We haven't drawn it yet. That's not that impressive, that's fine. If they attack with this, we have to block at this point. We can't take any more risks, really. Yep. I was going to say, I would be attacking with that as well. Because we pretty much have to block here. We're going to be killing this and then attacking over here for 4. So the invasion comes down. We put a 1/1 counter on here and it will fight. I guess the Kavu is the one we're most worried about. Because I'm hoping they don't have too many 6-drops. And now we can attack the battle. They can either chump, or if they don't chump, we get a 4/4. Okay, this is going better. We will cast our super sweet 4/4. And it has ward, making it even more awkward to deal with. And now we have 2 things that can attack over here. We can potentially give them flying. So, creature or enchantment for 6. What is... Oh my god, they actually triggered it. 2 1/1 counters for each creature that convoked it. Shatter... Do 6 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. Go on, hit my battle. You only have the War Historian here. It's the only choice. They could hit the battle if they want. Okay, so this is not good for us. Hang on. What was... Oh, they've... Oh, does it have... Hang on. Does it have Cascade anyway? No, so... Oh my god, they cascaded into a 6-drop, which cascaded again. That's ridiculous. Okay, well this has to come down now. We've got an 8/8 to deal with, which is nuts. Hang on, what happened to ours? Creature, planeswalker, or battle? Wait, what? Is it exiled? What exiled it? I don't quite understand what's happened here. Okay, well either way... Oh, it must have been this. That isn't exactly 2 colours. Okay, yes, that's what it was. So here we're just going to play our sailback. And we will destroy... Oh, hang on. Oh, that's a mistake. For some reason I thought the battles were enchantments. They're not. So we're going to take 8 damage here, which is not good at all. Yeah, I just assumed these were like sagas. That is a pretty big mistake on my point. It's a whole new card type. I had not realised that. So I think we're going to lose this, mostly because we're taking 8 here. And they have another urn anyway, which they can just activate and kill our sailback. It doesn't kill our big thing. And they can just attack this, which is 2 colours. I mean, if they're going for that, that's fine. I'm all for letting them have a toy. I'd rather have them have a 5/5 than me be down to 6 life at this point. So it's when you cast a spell, it's 2 colours. Exactly 2 colours among them. Okay, so when you cast a 2-colour spell, you get a 2-colour spell. That's fine. 5 mana here is very awkward, so I think we need to try and find another bit of mana. We of course find nothing. So I think we actually have to bottom most of these, although we still want that further up, and hope we find a land. Okay, we revealed something we did not want to reveal, and now I think we're dead. Okay, let's surveil this. Maybe we should have surveilled first. Yeah, I think we have to ditch that. We just need to draw good value here. We can't justify anything else. We don't even have good blocks here. We can potentially take 13 and try and be optimistic about dealing with these in the future. I think that's honestly probably what we do if they... well, no, because we're not going to be able to do anything here regardless. So That has trample, this does not. But we need to get 2 blockers out either way. I think taking 8. I think we're just throwing things under the bus at this point, maybe hoping to draw our bounce spell for this and just pay around the ward. So this is obviously good for them. I think we're probably losing this game. We're a little bit too slow. And they've just... this thing was a monstrosity of a turn. They got to exile our enchantment, they got to kill our creature, and they got to get a trigger off of Emoti as well. There's way too much value there. Yeah, I'm going to concede this one. That was one of the coolest turns I've seen so far. The double cascade into double removal spell is probably as good as you can get. Playing a kill your 2 best things is pretty hard to come back from, I would say. Always happy to lose when it's a really cool thing that happens on the other side of the battlefield. Like, I'm not as big a fan of losing when it's just like, yep, that was mana screw or mana flood or anything along those lines. But when your opponent just does something pretty sweet, especially because I didn't even understand how cool it was to begin with. Oh, that guy's got a funny eye. Yeah, this seems reasonable. We've got Carvu isn't ideal because I swear in my mind that was the 3-drop, but either way, we've got our bounce spell now, which is nice. We've got our 2-drop with a Surveil, also nice. And against mono white, having creatures is good. Okay, they're not mono white; they are white red. Either way, happy to have creatures. So let's play our Thespian, surveil something around. We'd like a 3-drop, or we'd like... I think a land's pretty reasonable, actually. We want to be able to cast everything. Bouncing something and surveilling 2 could be really useful here. We're probably just going to play our Hermit or Carvu. Ooh, what is this? Is this the Companion? Yeah. So, target creature can't block this turn. 3 mana, 3/3. And activated abilities are cheaper. Sure. So, because we can't play anything here, I think we just offer this trade, see what they do. That is all good. And we'll pass the turn, because we're probably just going to bounce something, especially if they try and buff it or anything like that. Probably in their end step, so we'll just put a stop there. Yeah, we'll happily take 3 now for the ability to bounce it in end step if we need to. Yeah, so there we go. We're all about tempo on this turn. We just want to get this out of the way. Send it somewhere. Ooh, have they got something that can do with it? Protection from colours, or the colour of your choice. Okay. So they do have something to do, which I'm kind of okay with that. Give it protection from blue and go over to our turn. That's a nice draw, actually. We can still get our attack in here. Are they going to untap it? Sure. You can exile it, we don't get our trigger. We'll pop down our big old 4/4. At this point, I think I'm still on the point where I'd even just consider blocking and forcing them to spend more spells. Okay, no, they've just got more spells. This is fine. That's a nice one. Because they're red as well. Oh no, it's blue or black, sorry, not red. A video end step, target non-creature non-land card from your graveyard, create. Oh, good. Good. So, at least we get to trade here. Slow things down a little. They get to make 1 3/2. Because it's non-creature non-land. They've got 2 more at least. Okay, this isn't good for us. This needs to find us a land, basically. Or, in fact, what I think we'd rather do is forest cycle here, find ourselves a forest, play that, and then find something else. Because at least that can trade with the 3/2. We get more card advantage out of this. This thing is just going to be impossible for them to get through. Yeah, I think we're taking that. Like, they are obviously... Hang on. Oh, hang on. They can just keep playing things. Oh my god. That thing needs to die and we don't have anything that kills it. We're in so much trouble. I think we actually have to race here, which is ridiculous, because we are not the racing deck. Okay, giving... Ooh, that Convoke was unfortunate. Okay, maybe not. How do we even begin to deal with this? Okay, we've come across some real value already. We're going to be at 2 losses in no time. At, like, best case scenario, we're taking 6 here, but they can also just give... Oh, is this Vigilant now? Is it Vigilant anyway? Vigilance anyway. You may cast that card this turn without paying its mana cost. Yeah, so they can just kill one of our creatures here. The other... So we have to go for no blocks. Oh no, I didn't realise they were attacking with that. Okay, that was a mistake. We should have taken 6 there instead, but they would have just killed one of our creatures anyway. I think there was no way of coming back from that. That thing was... That Loxodon was nuts. Did you basically cast all your spells twice and get 3/2s out of it? That's absurd value for limited. I would be taking that super early on. It looks like we might not be making our money back on this, which is a pretty bad sign considering I can't afford to spend real money playing Magic Arena. So I'm gonna need to be optimistic. On the plus side, it means I get to try and record another video after this if this is a short one. But I'd quite like to be able to win simple games, because I actually think our deck's pretty sweet. I can't even pronounce that name. Wrath, I got that. Isevenal Wrath? Okay, this is fine. I'm okay with this. A Wary Thespian is going to be slightly short of killing the invasion, but we're okay with that. What have we got? So, because we've got essentially... We'll play this first, because this doesn't matter as much. They're mulliganing, we're on the play. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 in terms of which turns we're going to play. And with a Scry here and this, I think we're in a good spot. In fact, if we draw a land, we could even just go 2, 3, 4. So let's go for that. 2, 3, 4. Especially if we draw another creature, actually. Okay, no, so... This is backup 1, sacrifice it, draw a card. Sure. We're going to go for Surveil 1 with a 3-2. A 3-1, rather. I actually think we just want that. Perfectly happy with the forest at this point. So our 3-drop is probably still this. Death Touch and Transform here. So play this out. I don't think we want 2 lands here. But we do want that. I'll go no attacks here. And we can actually just save this thing as a backup, but I think we probably would rather play the invasion as invasion first of all. Can we target spell you control and use 2 cards for copy? Yeah, not sure if that's really what we need to be doing here, but... Let's go with... I think it's still Invasion of Rin. Let's go for it. Let's play more battles. See if we can start triggering them over and over. Okay, well we can obviously discard a forest here. That hasn't gone to plan. No attacks. As long as our opponent doesn't kill our Thespian, we can get a 4/4 next turn. Like, we've got so much value to get, but it's just not efficient. Ooh, okay, that was just a twist it. Deals combat damage to a player or battle, draw a card. Sure. We'll just block that. We don't mind not getting this here. That's a pretty good card to draw, we like that. We will have a start by just going for the Herd Beast. And then next turn, potentially, we can flip it and protect it. Which would be nice. Okay, -4/-4, yep. Okay, well now we're just doing that, I imagine. Again, more value is useful. In fact, okay, it transforms it, so It goes from 4-5, so it gained 3 power. So we can actually put it up to 4 power, potentially, with Menace. And then it would be... But it wouldn't be any more toughness. Okay, I think we're just going with the Moti first. Seeing what we get. I mean, sure, we'll just get a 3-4 flyer. It's better than nothing. We can use these to start dealing with some of this now, which is nice. Whenever it attacks a battle, double its power. Okay. But they've only got 1 card left. 1 card left now, so that's nice. So let's go with Astral Wingspan here. And we just want to auto-pay this because we want to be able to hexproof it in response if we need to. Okay, they know that what's coming. They know we're going to start churning out battle triggers. Like, we were going to get a 4-4 out of that, then potentially a weird spell copy thing that we're not as worried about. But if we get a 4-4 out of that, and then we got ward, we've got chunky things, so much more to come. Okay. Feeling slightly better here. So really we want to get 2 more wins to have a chance here. We're not too far away from just getting another draft with gold as well, so maybe I'll be able to do one by this time next week. I don't play much Magic outside of the YouTube content, so it may not be that I can get all the quests done, but it might be enough. There's some really cool artwork that I have never seen before. Like, that's one thing Magic always did do well, was artwork. This is fine if we're going first. We're still missing 3 drops basically, but this is, Convoke is pretty useful. The fact it draws a card means you can use it a bit earlier on. What is this? Exile from the graveyard, put 2 counters on something as a sorcery. Nice. This should be able to find something, surely. There we go. So I think we need an... I don't think we need the Sailback. Sailback only being a 3-4 is pretty awkward, and we just want to be able to draw a card. So maybe if we put it this way around. Maybe we don't even need the Herd Beast. Maybe at this point we're looking for something cheaper. No, I think we still want the third. No, let's go cheaper. And this time we're going to do that. So, this is a bit greedy, but I don't want to give too much information away, and I want to try and find something to pressure this faster. We've got 4 drops. We're 2 turns away from any 5 drops anyway, and we've got a couple of things to do and some card draw. And another way of spending our mana, so something other than that would have been nice. Here, we're just going to pass the turn. Given that we've already got 5 mana, we don't need to cycle this for an island, and it can just be pretty great. Especially to churn out some of these. Sacrifice this creature, deals damage to its power to any target. Okay, so it is just going to make itself a 3-3. If it doesn't, I'd be very surprised. Which just means that we want to put a... Oh no, it's going to make that a... Okay, so they're just going for real rush down here. Sure. Yep, this is all good. So now we're just going to play probably the Not Vault Hermit. Both of these are just 4-4s, but this can potentially become a 5-5, so... This trades for both of their creatures and can attack this. So I think this is where we want to be. Whether or not they can deal with it is a different question, because I know Stoke the Flames exists, so they could go 1, 2, 3, 4, Stoke hit us for 3, and then we lose this draft. What's this? 3 damage to a creature. Put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library if you do draw a card. Okay. And then they're going to ditch this, I assume? I mean, that is a 2-for-1. We're still losing the race. But that's not the worst for us. It's a 2-for-1, and did they still whiff on land? They still whiffed on land. Okay. And the fact we can bounce this back to their hand as well after playing basically a 4-4 is pretty great. Guess not. I guess not. Oh, auto tapper. I mean, I should have checked. It is my fault. But yeah, the fact that we've got a spell that can sometimes be cast for 1, we should have been so much more careful with our mana there. This could be so much different of a turn, especially if they went for like a pump spell here. Either way, I think we don't block now, which is a risk, but they might have pump spells. Choose target battle. If an opponent protects it, remove a defense counter. Otherwise, put a defense counter on it. Activate as a sorcery. Okay. So here, we just want to attack this and see what they do. I mean, if they double block, this is absolutely fine. Yeah, we get our 4/4. We'll cast this. And then let's just go for a big dude. Reach, trample, 6/5. Okay, I feel confident again. We have now got huge things and they've only got access to 3 mana and we've got a bounce spell, so I think it's very likely that we can just push damage through here until we win. We can even just put down another Tidal Terror, or we can start just clocking them in the air with Wingspan. I'm probably just going to want to hold up the Dispersal for as long as we can and just attack with everything and just basically try and make it as difficult as possible. So this does untap a land, so they do get additional mana. They could stoke this, I guess. Okay, so when it attacks, up to 1 target attacking creature gets +2/+0 and trample, and return it to hand. Okay. So we're just going to attack with a lot. See what they do. If they double block anything, we bounce. Wow, so 10, 14 damage here. Okay. Put them down to 6. We'll play this, and we're just going to hold up the Dispersal, just in case we feel at risk of dying. I think it's unlikely, but it's absolutely possible. Because this thing can make something big, and if it gives it double strike, but until they represent it like actual lethal, we're not going to bounce anything. So, up to 1 target attack creature gets +2/+0 and trample, but then returns to hand. Trample haste, whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Yep, sure. All good here. So they've got 9, 10, 12 damage, I believe. Oh no, more? They've got more? If they put all this in one, it doesn't really matter, because our opponent's so close to actually killing us, but this is going to be our saving grace here. Whatever just has the most damage is just going to get bounced, which puts them just short of lethal, unfortunately. Unfortunately for them. Okay, so then we just return that to their hand, and doesn't matter what we do here because we've won the game. Okay, block this one, and there we go. We only take 7, and we've got way more than 7 coming back at them. Yep. I mean, it was a good try from my opponent. Honestly, that was a really good try. I'd be very happy with that result if I were them. Okay, so that puts us up on 1 more win. So we're not too far away from getting another draft out of this. I actually have enjoyed this format so far. Is that 1400 gems? No, that's 1000. So our next one's 1400, which leaves us again just short. But I like this. Like, we've got janky, weird things going on. We haven't got to make too good use out of our battles yet. We are definitely lacking removal. We could have really done with a bit more. Also, the battle that kills something, our fight one, I'm trying to still decide if that was better than the other option we had. This is a mulligan for me. We've got no early drops whatsoever, none of our relevant things, and we're lacking that anyway in the deck, so we're not likely to draw any. Oh, they've got a Lutri. Okay, this is way better. Tetsuko might be worth just ditching here. We've got 3, probably 4 lands. I think it might just be Wingspan. Like, oh, but Wingspan is good. You know what? I'm going to ditch a forest and play slightly greedy here. Because we've got another way of finding a land, I think this is all worthwhile, and because this convokes, this is worth playing. So Lutri is the... Everything needs to be different, but you can copy an instant or sorcery with it. Okay, that's fine. That's a really good draw for us, so we'll play our Tetsuko because frankly it's our only real creature. The other things just draw us cards. So this one's any permanent, and when you cast a spell this thing gets indestructible, yeah. And okay, they're still passing. So we know we're not buffing this here, so we're just going to attack. Can't be blocked anyway. See what they do. What would you rather have? Honestly, I think I'd just rather have this thing because it gets the Scry 3 as well, whereas this one just finds something. And maybe you can find us a land that we can then pretend. Ooh, okay. If we pop this here, so we could find this the following turn. But we don't have another creature to play as the thing, so I think we put this here. Draw the land, play the land, and then pass from there. Okay, they're island cycling, yep. Kind of worrying that they're... Oh, they've got islands. Oh, cool. When I said island cycling, I was like, hang on, Lutri doesn't actually get played very easily here, but we're in a good spot, I think. We can play the Hermit. Ooh, my goodness, what is this? No. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses a life. You cast it from your graveyard by discarding 2 cards in addition to paying their other costs. Okay. That's a thing. I actually think Tetsuko wants to go this direction. Play a Hermit. We can find our land for the following turn. If we just draw one naturally, we can play a Moti. We might be able to just run at this. I wanted to chip it with Tetsuko just because 1 damage here doesn't matter that much, and there's a chance they might just kill our Notvold Hermit, and we need another way of attacking this, and potentially if we really wanted to, we could even just put Wingspan on Tetsuko. Backup and lifelink, yep. So the backup going here is pretty brutal. Yep, that seems good for them. Okay, so no blocks here. But they're going to start draining us, essentially. Oh, they're full on 4-color, I love it. So, we're going to attack here. Just there, though, and see if they decide to jump. They do. That's fine by us. And then pop this fella down. We'll split the counters out because it doesn't really matter. We could have put that on here, but we're going to get this eventually anyway, I feel like, with the Wingspan, so I more just wanted to try and get things off the battlefield. I don't feel bad about how this sits right now. Like at the moment we're in trouble to a bounce, but okay, that's a problem. Okay, so do we just take this out somehow? I almost feel like we do. Maybe not. Maybe this is our setup turn. Oh, that's not good for us. Things that can fight, but nothing can fight that well. They don't have any enchantments, so the Sailback's rubbish. Invasion of Rin is fine. Can we afford to take 10 here? 1, 2, no we can't, so let's just... Yeah, I think that's actually the right option of how to pay it. So these are the things we want to convoke. This has obviously got reach, so we don't want to just do anything with that anyway. This becoming a 5/5 is basically what we're going to try and do next turn, but yeah, maybe should have put this on the bottom because we don't actually have a land for it, which is awkward. If they go for attacks though, we will double block here. Okay, yep, they're transforming. Okay, they can draw a card, interesting. But yeah, any attacks here we double block, because they can't kill two things at once. We really want our bounce spell here, I think. Or, yeah, this was a mistake. So we need to play Invasion first. We don't have it. I just want them to attack with this, to be honest. Attacking with that would be the best thing that they could do for us. Yeah, they didn't, unfortunately. So we can draw 3 cards and discard here. But this is slightly cheaper, but does it have any other option for things we can do? No, it doesn't. So we're just going to cast this with the assumption that we're going to draw at least 1 land. We do, so I think here we discard, I guess, the Thespian. And now I suppose we just send a couple of these at something, maybe? What if we send both of these here? And then, yeah, that works. So we're only really going to be trading something rubbish here, and we've got the untap if we need it, and we get a 4/4 out of it, so we lose a 3/4 for a 4/4. I'm completely okay with that. Oh no, wait, we forgot to trade. Forgot to trade. The whole point of that was to trade. It's fine, we can trade something else. In fact, if we double block with things, they might put things in the wrong order, but I doubt it. That was super awkward. The whole point was to get rid of that thing. Oh, what a spanner. So the question now is, what do we even deal with here? Tymaret's toughness. Okay, yep, that Tymaret, I remember him. He was good. If I were them, I'd just be putting Lutri in my hand, I guess. I mean, we could always double block the Ancient, or just wait for our bounce spell or something. So I think here maybe we don't take any unnecessary risks. We could even just untap the Kavu, and then maybe like... Yeah, so the Kavu's actually the thing we care the least about here. Or is it? No. It's actually Tetsuko. We don't care about Tetsuko, and we need to kill things. So Tetsuko can just block that. That's fine. Dear, this is not going ideally. Emoti could help here. So let's try Emoti, see what happens. We get a Cascade trigger, we'll see what we get. If we get any fun to... Oh my god, we were going to draw a load of garbage. Ooh, return target creature to its owner's hand. I guess that's the Timberland Ancient there. Which is nice if they can't do anything about it. That's also great for us. This I think we want because they are blue and black. So obviously just free value is great. So actually, do we take a bunch of damage here? Because 1, 2, 3... This is a flyer. 1, 2... I think maybe we just make this thing... One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it, right? We should draw a card now. And if they've got a removal spell here, it's brutal because we've got ward. So, but for 3 and 2, they can bounce it if they've got that. Oh, they've got exactly enough. So what was this? What is that even? Destroy target creature or planeswalker, create a treasure. Well, that's really awkward. We're going to take 6 damage for no reason now. The good news is we can trade our Hermit for their big thing. Or actually, we probably just trade it for Rona. Make them cast it again. You gain 5 life and incubate 5. Phyrexians have reach. Great. And that just still is only 2 to transform. Brutal. Yep. So now we're probably on the transform this plan. Yeah, because they can just activate that now and attack for 6 first. So we know right now it isn't a good time for them, so I think we're just doing this activation. 1, 2, 3. The fact they didn't attack is ridiculously good for us. So what if the invasion of Ixalan first? We can just find another thing. We need to find a way of dealing with some of that stuff. Making something indestructible if it attacked a battle is good, but just more 5/5s is also good. Our own reach big guy is decent, but I think this is what we want. Because we can't get past these anyway. So we need to just play more stuff that's big enough to deal with it. They've got 1,000,000 life. This can block, this can attack, so let's go here. We can start attacking with Emoti actually safely, which is really entertaining. Yeah. They can draw a card. But we get to attack for the belligerent Regisaur. We're going to need to transform these because otherwise we're never going to be able to deal with stuff. Sure. Like, we're just hoping they go for the big thing and save a blue or black spell, basically. Because we'd love to get value out of this. Yeah, is this just big guy? I don't know how we deal with this. I really don't. Maybe if we got this onto something, triggered it. Oh, but okay, yeah. So now they have to kill Tetsuko, which is funny, but I think the right choice because we can deal with other things. The question is, what do they attack with here? If they attack both of these, they're just trading for both of these, which is, I think, fine for them. Especially the fact that Rona can keep coming back. And only attacking for 4 is interesting. I think we go with no blocks here. Because they can't play anything else out now anyway. And we can just deal with other things. So this has reach. We can use this to kill her. They've only got 2 decent spells in hand, so they're not going to want to ditch Rona. And the other option is because when it attacks, another creature gets base power and toughness 5/5 till end of turn. So let's just do this. And then is it worth pushing on for these? So let's just send something like this here and this here, because these are no good if they don't attack anyway. This basically is forced to block one of the 2. In fact, what if we don't attack with that? What if we attack with that? And make that a 5/5? Because Emoti is basically worthless. So Emoti becoming a 5/5 is much more important than the Kavu, because the Kavu does still have flying. Obviously everything they play is going to have reach, but at least flying is more relevant. They probably want to trade there, yep. They're still giving us at least 1/4/3, which is nice. Okay, yeah, we get that. We're getting there. And we can make it indestructible. We can also use this to make it 5 attack. So this is our big ticket get through this situation. If they just play their 6/5, we're laughing. Yep. Just pass here or ooh. Again, this might be a just sit and take it, or actually I think here we're willing to trade, because this coming back as a 4/5 is you know what? No. I think we're okay. We're going to take these risks. We're going to take another 4, and we're going to kill it next turn with the invasion. If we draw a land, we're in a perfect spot. Return a creature or battle from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, Tidal Terror. Okay, so that is a 5/6. So let's play our own Tidal Terror. I think that is exactly what we need to do. Although attacking here makes perfect sense first. Because if they block with anything, we just trigger it. We've got a couple of different things we can do it with. Yep, that's fine. Also fine. I almost feel like we don't have much of a choice here. I think we actually just trade this, even though that's really useful. Yep, I think this is what we do. And then we play our own Tidal Terror first. We've got the Cascade trigger. I forgot about that. I did not realise that was going to happen. What do we get to find? Okay, we'll take the anything that isn't useless. So we've got 13 cards left, so we are pressured to try and take them out. So we'd want them to play their Tidal Terror, because it's one of the only things that we have to deal with. If they attack with Rona this turn, we're absolutely going to block, because we can easily block for free if we need to, or but we probably would actually just block with Kavu and Pest. Yep, so what are they going to attack with? Ooh, interesting. So how do you want to do this here? We know they've got Lutri. This doesn't do anything. Lutri doesn't change anything, right? I don't understand what's going on here. So we just block that there. And block these two here, because everything has reach anyway. And just take 1. Although actually, if we take 3, this is better for us. I can't see anything that I'm missing here. Like, I know they can just play Rona again and try and kill us with it, but I think we might have this if they just play their big thing. Wow, they're just playing Rona out again. Well, now we just kill Rona. 5, so play our land. We can fight. In fact, I'm going to put it on the Kavu to fight Rona. Because if we put it here, then we can actually use the Kavu to clear out one of our things. So the Kavu can go here. And I guess Tidal Terror to face. Let's go for the lot to the face. We don't need to worry about that. We've got our Cryptomancer here, so we've got an extra blocker, we've got a hexproof trigger for the ward thing. I think we're in a good spot. We're almost guaranteed, well, we are guaranteed a 4-4, and we're going to have the clock heading in our favour with protection up as well. It's a shame we don't have one more land for the Moloch, but we will cast this. Okay. We're not out of this yet. Did I actually miss a 2-turn clock there? Let's have a look. So 12, 17, no. So they're going to gain life, yeah, that's fine. We can push that if we need to. Yeah, gain all the life you want, my friend. We're just going to be running at your face from this point onwards, I believe. Saving this every turn. Sure. Yeah, I'm not worried about a race at this point anymore. Because we're obviously going to lose any races that are too bad. Pass, and I'm assuming they pass. My turn. Okay, nice. So we've got 6-7 now, which is perfect, because we can just send everything our opponent would be. In fact, how many cards in our graveyard? 4. 1 for each creature exiled this way. So we've got 1, they've got a bunch. So 12, 17. Yeah, they're gonna need to be defending here a bit. So we're gonna keep applying the pressure as much as we can. They know about the Herd Beast, so that can just come into play, and we can protect it still. Herd Beast it is. Honestly, at this point, if they had a counter spell, I'd still just use my Cryptomancer, but depending on what they do, the fact we've got the Moloch as another option is so valuable for us. They're going to exile our graveyard. Like, this is really good as an end step thing, if they just sort of play something out, and it's nothing that we need to worry about with a Cryptomancer. We can just keep applying that pressure. There is a world maybe I should have gone for this, but I don't think there is. Plus this can potentially just one-shot it if we need to with the Cryptomancer. Yeah, exile your own graveyard now, gain a bunch of life. This is such an odd spot for our opponent, because I don't think they realise, well, they obviously don't realise because they don't know we've got this, but depending on what they do, we could potentially either have card advantage or essentially just a counter to something. So while we're definitely not safe, I feel much safer than we were. Okay. Are they going to ditch both of these to discard, so to play Rona again? Enter the battlefield, you gain 3 life. And what does it transform into? And transforming it... Okay, so it can kill one of our creatures. Yeah, so they get to gain 3. Are they going to trigger it now? There's no point because it doesn't save them from anything. Okay, yeah. So it's target creature gets -0, -X to end of turn, where X is its power. So this would make this a 4-3, which means they could attack with Tymaret. But if they did that, we could put the counter on it and then kill Tymaret and still leave this alive, meaning they'd be forced into essentially chump blocking. So I think we're good still. And this, I can give this Menace, but that takes 2 life away that I don't think I'm willing to spend. We can still just make this a 5-5. but I wanted to save a few options here. So the question is, if they don't do anything, do we play out the Sandstalker Moloch? We've got 21 damage as it stands at the moment, so I think we do, because it means they have to double chump. And I think that is what we want to be bringing to the table at this point in time. Come on, OB. Again, them only having one card and us having the Cryptomancer, pretty nice here. But I think what we're going to want to do is just apply the pressure, attack as fast as we can, make them deal with things. Either that or they're tanking to the point that we might actually just get the win here and there. Here and now. Here and there, here and now. Okay. I do think there's not as much to think about with one card in hand as our opponent's currently putting us through, but that's fine. We'll let them keep going. We just want to try and win. Does pumping this up make... So what are the two biggest things they can block? Would be like here and here. So they take 4, 8, 12, 16, 17 if they block everything. But if they don't, then they die, because they can only activate once, is it? For each creature exiled this way. So they'd actually have to exile... Oh wait, hang on. Next we'd get through with... Yeah, say block those, we get 12, 16, 17, 18, 19 in theory, and they block that and that. They take... Why has my brain stopped working? They block these, they take 12, 16, 17, 18. So maybe we don't quite have it yet. Okay, our opponent just, I think, gave up at that point. Like, I think we had them a point where they were going to chump with multiple things. We were going to be attacking with everything there just to make sure that they had to deal with it, and probably playing that out and leaving our little 1-1 there for, or 0-1 I suppose, 0-1 there for emergency blocking duty. Okay, good progress. What is that, 1400 gems now? It is, so we're up to one last win to be able to afford another draft as soon as this is over. So this is my fingers crossed moment. This is like the dream of to where you want to get. Honestly, this format so far seems weird, but quite cool. The battles are quite awesome. It's odd because it feels like if you play a couple of battles down, your opponent just has like 20 extra life, because you've got to wait until you can get through to the battles, then use those to attack the other things. You're trading... I mean, apart from that one turn where I didn't trade for the Tree Giant, which was a pretty big mistake, but I could have also saved the pump spell to use in conjunction with my only removal spell, but it's gone well. 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and we're going first. Perfect. No complaints here at all. Invasion of Pyrulia is good. Sailback can be decent, so we might as well just play this out. We do want to find a land here, really. Perfect. Tetsuko is terrible. Oculus Whelp could be good, but I think we'd rather just push towards other things. Yeah, we've got a lot of useful things already. We'd rather just push towards other stuff. So we can play the not the Kavu, the War Historian, which gets indestructible attacking this, which is nice. Ooh, that's a nice draw for later on. So this becomes a... When it becomes blocked, the creature gets -1/-1, so they can transform this now. Start hitting for 3. If they do, though, we will back up this and just attack over here. I'd be tempted on their part to do that, just to get the tempo advantage, but we then get a 4/4. Okay, they're going for Tetsuko. So we're going to give them the option here to block, but it ditches their Tetsuko if they want to. They could have the kit bounce or something. Okay, they don't. That's great for us. So now we've just got big beefy versus their 3 power. So there's a very good chance we just start running things at them. We're probably going to play... I'm not sure actually, because this is top 4 cards Ulamari for any permanent. Convoke Flyer, that's fine. So, I think we just... do we have anything that can pump that up now? No. So we'll attack with these. Get some damage. I think if we can play Invasion of Pyrolia and potentially find a green source, we just go absolutely nuts with this. It's greedy. I think we probably just want to play another Hermit. I could do it, but if we don't hit a green source to play the Moloch, we're in so much trouble. This way we can actually just put more really hard to block things on the battlefield. Our opponent's got to deal with more stuff. We can potentially flip things. I mean, if our opponent doesn't have a removal spell here, there's a good chance they just die. So this isn't the best selection of plays. Okay, so here we are going to look at going for it. Seeing what we can find. We'd love to find a green source. Perfect, that can go to the bottom. Another Hermit is also fine. Play that. And then honestly just... I think all these should just attack our opponent. And then maybe... I mean, the Cabu can't block anything else. We might as well go... No, we'll just leave this for now. Just attack our opponent. Give them a situation where they basically have to try and find something to go on here. Yeah, that's fine. So they can take out this, which is no problem. It's not ideal, but they're still looking at taking 4 to 8 damage here, and we've got a surprise for them. We will save this till the end of their turn, though. Yeah. So this could have gone over here. I do think it was an option, but I wanted to just try and be optimistic here. We don't know what they've got. If they've got a bounce spell here as well, that's so good for them. But if we can surprise them with this, we're in a great spot. And then the sailback can come in and start doing damage. Ooh, okay. Sacrifice a creature. Really solid turn from our opponent there. So they're actually ahead on board now. Oh, hang on, was this not... I don't understand what happened there. I thought we had one more thing going through. Oh no, because they killed the third one. Incubate 3 to draw a card, yeah. They probably want to activate that fairly soon. They can attack for a lot of damage here. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're actually 1 damage away from lethal, so we need to make it so they have to block with this. Yeah, anything to follow up? No, so we can play the Sandstalker Moloch, and if this resolves, we draw a card, which is great for us. It has to be a permanent, so it's not our one thing that removes it, but it could just be the Knotfold Hermit. Gaining 1 life. 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we need to take the Hermit here. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Because this is only sorcery speed. So if we play that and destroy here, I'm thinking about the sailback killing this. This doesn't have reach. Is there anything we can do about that? Doesn't matter. No, not really. None of these are artifacts or enchantments. So really this is the only thing that matters. So we're going to destroy this. If we can. Yep, destroy that. Go to combat. And attack like this, I guess. We want at least 2 blockers back. And we want more things for the future turn. Yeah. I don't like this, but we're not out of it. Like, there's... Yeah, I was going to say there's a good chance they could have us here. But... Yeah, have they got 1 damage? Oh, there we go. The 1 damage. Target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I mean, I didn't know that card existed, so I can hardly be blamed for that. So close. Funnily enough, the... yeah, I did have fun. The option to gain life there with our 1 life we could have gained wouldn't have saved us. So all we really had to do there was try and find some way of removing one of those, and I just don't think we had the option. But there we go. That's my very first draft of the... what's it called again? I'll find out in a minute. Machine-y uprising thing? March of the Machine, obviously. That's what I said. March of the Machine. And it puts us actually really close to another draft. So, a couple of dailies. We might be able to get one more out later this week. Hopefully a little bit more as well. Or even if they just turned up in the shop, that would be great. So let's have a look at the packs before we do anything else. But this format seems good so far. It seems really interesting, which is always good because sometimes you get formats that just seem really dull. The last one was just mind-numbingly throwing units at each other. Not a fan. But this one, so much more interactive, lots of nuance, lots of tricky things you can do. I feel like it's a difficult format. There's a lot of moving parts, but really, really fun thing to play. So... enter battlefield, return a creature to its owner's hand, and equal number of creatures you control. This seems fantastic. Another, what's it called? Oh my god, not Invocation. Invention. There we go. Kaladesh Invention style. When every creature you control its enchanter or equipped attacks against double strike. Put a counter on each creature you control, and put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. I mean, that seems ridiculous. These battles all seem awesome. 5 mana 4/4, backup 1, flying first strike, lifelink. So it's a mini Baneslayer Angel. Ridiculous. Who could complain about Baneslayer Angel? Missing the protection for demons and dragons, but getting flexibility. What's Invasion of Kamigawa? Okay, just a card draw cantrippy thing. Invasion of Amonkhet. Oh, you get a zombie. Okay, cool. That's like the Scarab God trigger. Into the Fire. 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker, and battle. Put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards plus 1. Yep. Reasonable. Ooh, Jury. We saw this before. It was good against us, but they just sacrificed it for very little value. Convoke Flyer. And our rare is Guardian of Ghirapur. Oh, that angel. Is that like the Angel of Invention it looks a bit like, but with a different helmet? Guardian of Ghirapur enters the battlefield, exile 1 target creature or artifact you control, return to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. That's a really strong effect on a 3/3 for 3. Like a flyer. That's really good. I would be playing that in my like Death and Taxes thing. Inga and Esika. Creatures you control have vigilance and tap. Spend 1 mana of any colour. Spend this to cast a creature spell. So add 1 of any colour to spend on a creature spell. When you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card. That's going to be an EDH staple, I think. Still love that. And our rare... Ooh, Harobi Death's Wail. Whenever a creature becomes a target of a spell or ability, destroy that creature. There we go. So that is my very first attempt at March of the Machine. I had an absolute blast playing this. It was so many different tricks and moving parts. It was really, really great. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I did playing it. I will absolutely be playing more of this format. Hopefully you guys will be watching more of it. If you enjoyed it, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTubey things. I literally had someone comment earlier basically just to make me feel better about having a comment, and it really did make me smile. So it's the best thing you can do to support the channel is just drop me a comment. Really does brighten up my day. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.